One of the most challenging issues to have to troubleshoot when it comes to a Windows computer is if the system won't boot at all. So if you run into this instance, lots of times what people will feel is that the only option they have available to them is to just go ahead and start over, right? Just reformat the hard drive, reinstall the operating system. Well, I want to show you that there are a couple of other options you could go into first using the Windows 11 installation media to assist you. So what we're looking at on the screen is actually the virtual machine that I am using in this course. Okay, this is my Windows 11 virtual machine. That's why you see this small little dark window here where it says start. This blue space, just ignore that. That's just the background of my computer that virtual machine's running on. What I'm going to do is this is a machine that's currently off, and we're going to pretend like we're having boot problems. And I want to tell you that I've put the Windows 11 DVD into the drive. And so I want to tell you what I'm doing before I do it, which is I'm going to click start, and it's going to prompt me to press any key to boot off of that DVD. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit a key on my keyboard, and then we'll take it from there. So I'll click on start. And now it says press any key. This now takes us into the setup utility for Windows 11. Right, so we're going to go ahead and take our languages. That's fine. Just go ahead and click next. And then here is where you typically would click install now if you want to install the operating system. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click down in the lower left of this window here where it says repair your computer. I'll click on that. And now we have a few options. The top option we have here is continue, which just means basically ignore that I went into the repair option. Just go ahead and boot the computer. We obviously don't want to do that because we're having boot issues. I could turn off the computer if I wasn't ready to perform this action yet. Well, we don't want to do that. We could also choose to use a specific device if we wanted to boot off of that device, maybe a USB drive, something like that. And then finally at the bottom, this is the one we want, which is troubleshooting. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you'll see that we now have a number of options. And the very first one in the top left here says start up repair. So again, if you're having boot issues, well, this kind of makes sense. Let's go ahead and see what we can do doing a startup repair. So I'm going to click on that, and it says what target operating system do you want to attempt to repair? Now, this would be if you had like a dual boot situation, you would have the choice of which operating system you want to pick. In this case, I only have the one, so I'm going to choose Windows 11. And when I click on that, it's now going to go through, it's going to diagnose what might be wrong with the system, and then it's going to see if it can automatically go ahead and fix that problem that it finds. Now, this can take a few minutes, so this is another one of those instances where if you are following along with me, go ahead and pause the video, and we'll be right back with you as soon as it's complete. Okay, my system has completed, and you'll see here that what it says is it says startup repair couldn't repair your PC. Now, if I had a machine that was actually having boot issues, this would be bad, right? Because that would mean I may be left with no other option at this point but to go ahead and format and reinstall. In this instance, I can tell you the reason it's saying this is because I'm not actually having a problem, right? I'm just pretending that I'm having a problem. So it can't repair a PC that's not actually broken. So you'll see here that my only options are to shut down or to click advanced options. Now, when I click advanced options, this is just going to take me right back where we previously were. So I'm going to go back into the troubleshooting, and you'll see here that besides startup repair, we do have some other options. We could go into the UEFI firmware settings in case that was maybe part of the reason why we couldn't boot. If you really want to get advanced, there are certain command prompt tools you might be able to play with to try to manually rebuild partition tables and things like that. You could attempt to use a system restore. We learned about that in another video, where you may be able to restore to a previous configuration that does allow you to boot. Maybe it was recently a Windows update that broke the system, so we go ahead and uninstall those updates. And then, of course, there is the system image recovery, right? If we happen to have a backup, we could recover using system image recovery. So these are some of the options that are available to you to help you troubleshoot boot issues in Windows 11.